Paul Eeles, Director of Sector Reforms at the Association of Learning Providers. We've kind of looked at minimum contract levels, and I think there are a number of issues and challenges for providers to work through in working out which route to go and what are their options. I think there are some real significant challenges around cost to providers. I think that's to whether you're contracting as a subcontractor to a consortia lead or a prime provider, a large national provider or college, or indeed in terms of a managing agent. And the skills funding agency are not going to be paying the management costs incurred to providers anywhere within the system. And I think so therefore the real challenge is about finding economies of scale. It's about actually finding ways of actually taking out of the system costs that already exist. And for some small providers that will be a challenge. I think some of the areas that could be pulled together and costs challenges around awarding body costs. A number of providers will use a range of awarding organisations, and a number of our larger provider members have actually already procured services. And I think some of the work that in the new environment it'll be about how do you procure the kind of services like awarding organisation, services like audit services, like a whole range of things that providers need, stationery, IT equipment, all those sort of things is about where you can find some economies of scale, and that's going to be necessary operating in this new world. Another interesting feature of the new world is about Ofsted inspections and where does that fit, who's inspected. In the new world it'll be as it is now, the organisation that has the direct contract with the funding agency. Subcontractors will not be inspected directly, they won't have their own inspection reports going forward. So there are some issues around quality and how quality is managed, and providers need to be very clear about how the quality assurance arrangements will work. There may be some economies of scale for providers in working with a consortia or a managing agent, or indeed a subcontracted arrangement with a large provider. But I think a number of providers will be very concerned about the cost of quality, because very often in the past, subcontracted providers have found that it's necessary not only to adopt the main contractor's quality arrangements, but also have their own to maintain quality. And there's some real issues around that. So there are some issues. There's many unanswered questions. There's unanswered questions around, I'm a large provider geographically in a city, but actually in a given region, but actually I've got a large spread of provision, but wide and thin across the rest of the country. Can I move some of my provision and keep it within a consortium locally within the region, the 2/3 that is there, and then spread the other third with another provider, such as a national provider? Those questions have yet to be worked through, and the Skills Funding Agency yet to give us some answers to those kind of questions. Some real challenges about how providers manage their business going forward, and the kind of legal advice that they need to seek to enable them to make the right decisions. Undertaking due diligence. If you're a provider with a £365,000 contract, the kind of legal support that you need, how disproportionate is it to the size of your contract? So some real challenges there for providers entering into these new arrangements.